All right, going into Amazon Lily, I'm very grateful that my immediate main concern from the last arc was addressed, and that is that the Rosy Life Riders, whatever they're calling themselves, are protecting the Thousand Sunny, so the ship is fine. I was genuinely concerned that at some point some other group of pirates on the island was going to find the ship and take it, and then eventually our crew, the Straw Hats, would have to go hunt down their ship and take it back, but no, the ship is fine. So then we cut to Luffy, who is falling slash flying, and for a comedically long time, he falls asleep at one point and crashes into this island, Amazon Lily, which is an island completely inhabited by a race of warrior women. And yes, Wonder Woman had already been established. I checked. That came out in like the 40s, Themyscira. And this came out in like early 2000s. So it was an established trope, but I am grateful that Oda chose to incorporate this for no other reason really than one of my complaints that has been lingering about the series has been the fact that the art style of the female characters sometimes turns me off a little bit just because, like, I've seen Nami's design throughout the series, and over-sexualization of characters is just something I don't overly like to as part of the media that I consume. But I look past it for the series just because, A, the characters are extremely well written, the story is fantastic, and obviously the intended audience was like teenage boys, so not a big deal. I can move past it. But it is really nice that Oda used this arc to show a lot of different art styles. So when he wants, he can make female characters who are not conventionally attractive. They're cuter, they're taller, there's some quote unquote, I don't want to say ugly, but yeah, just different body types and shapes. They're different, unique designs. I appreciate unique designs in the characters, but I also want to obviously say One Piece itself has a very unique art style, and I have grown to love it, very much so. It was just one little nitpicky criticism. I think people used to say he would draw an X with two big circles on top, and that's how he would draw his female characters. Moving on, I did not want to talk about that or harsh on that as long as I just did. What was I going to say? Ordinarily, the idea of going to a area with, I guess the trope is pretty much called Planet of the Hats. The group of people have one defining thing in common, and that's kind of all they're based on, and you run the risk of writing either a stereotype or oversimplifying characters. However, this is One Piece. I was not worried for a second that Oda was going to simplify anyone's backstory or characterization or the world of this island. I really appreciated that these women were strong in different ways, and so long as they were a warrior, they were very well respected, regardless of looks, height, anything like that. So Luffy is on this island, and he is trying to just survive and get food and eat. At one point, he just is mentioning, like, hey, if I built a raft, then I could probably sail off this island. Oh, no, that's pointless without Nami being the navigator. And he tries to build a raft anyways, like, it falls apart. It's like, God, I wish Frankie was here. He also talks about how he wishes Sanji was there to cook him something, or when someone later in the arc gets injured, God, I wish Chopper was here. He could make them better. It's just really nice that he's calling attention to that, how much he relies on his crew and values their skills and is missing them and wants to get back to them. A little nitpicky detail that I would have preferred to be more included was if he mentioned all the shipmates. Even something as simple of, oh, that music, Brooke would like that, or, oh, hey, this place got some really cool architecture going on, or that your history is so interesting, I'm sure Robin would have loved to talk to you about this place, kind of thing. I just wish all the crew members were mentioned. Right, so he eats a mushroom that ends up taking over his entire body and covering him, and is come across by a group of women, and they bring him back to their village thinking he is also a woman, because no men are on this village, and they're picking off all the mushrooms, and not till the last one, they're like, oh god, this is a guy. So they throw him in jail. freaking out because the Empress is not going to like this. When Luffy comes to, because he had been passed out after eating the mushrooms, he's very upset and angry, like, hey, where's my crew? Where's my hat? Why am I naked? And he's yelling, and so the women are just like, oh god, he's monstrous and rude and uncivilized. Is this what men are, kind of thing. They got no reference for what type of person he is and what men are in general. And then eventually Luffy calms down enough to be like, oh, you healed me and helped me, thank you. Doesn't stop him from busting out of prison, though, and taking one of the girls hostage because she had made him new clothes, and in his old jacket, like, was a life paper that would lead him back to the Straw Hats, the rest of his crew. And I appreciate, again, throughout this arc, it's a lot of, I need to get back to my crew. That is my goal. That is what I'm here for. I need to get back to the crew. We then cut to Boa, who is out with an envoy at the perimeter of the island, and we learn not only is she the Snake Princess leader of this island of warrior women, she is also an Emperor of the Sea, so hired by the government. Editing Jessica, I meant Warlord. I knew it was wrong as soon as I said it. In charge, Emperor Pirate, whatever. And she is meeting with the Vice Admiral about going to Marineford with the other emperors because the government expects Whitebeard to attack to rescue Ace, and they want everyone on hand to fight against Whitebeard. And she's like, no, I'm not going. I'm not going there at all. And the Vice Admiral's like, if you don't, then we're taking away your title. You will be put back on the wanted list, your bounty reinstated, yada yada. And Boa's just like, no, not only will I keep my title, because I like it, I'm going to take all your treasure, and I'm still not going to go. And you're going to agree to this because I'm beautiful. And please tell me that we are intentionally supposed to hate this woman. Because I really hate her. She is introduced kicking a cat, a little kitten, out of her way, and just being so horrible and obnoxious. And you're just going to forgive her because she's beautiful. And it's really annoying. But anywho, she then turns most of his ship crew to stone, because anyone who's attracted to her is turned to stone when she unleashes her devil fruit power. And the Vice Admiral is only spared from this by stabbing himself in the hand, so the pain overrides any thoughts he has of her. And she, I guess, takes the treasure and just leaves. So there's that. Now, for the record, I do love a very selfish character. So while I hate her as a person, I have a tendency to love the selfish characters. So I do kind of like her as a character. That makes no sense, and I will not explain it further. So we go back to Luffy, who is trying to find a ship or someone to take him off the island. And he's realized that only an important person is able to get him a ship to take him back to the Bubble Island so he can go reunite with his crew. And by Luffy's logic, which makes sense, is important people will be in tall buildings. So he goes to the tallest building temple he can find and ends up crashing through the roof directly into the bath that Boa is currently taking. And previously, it had been said that whenever she has her bath, everyone has to leave the temple because her and her sisters have Gorgon's eyes on their back. And anyone who sees it will be turned to stone. So Luffy falls into the bath, sees her back, but is not turned to stone. Instead, he sees a symbol that he says he recognizes. And Boa and her sisters come out, and she tries to turn him to stone, but Luffy is not attracted to her because Luffy. And when that doesn't work, they're like, you have seen what we would kill to prevent people from seeing, and what we would rather die than let anyone see. So they can't turn him to stone, so instead they go for a public execution, bringing him to this Coliseum thing. Luffy is then put off against some big cat monster thing. And they're like, you're about to be executed, you're about to die, and Luffy's just like, okay. Cat comes after him, Luffy punches him, one shot into the stadium, done. He's like, that wasn't hard. And then everyone in Coliseum's like, I guess men can stretch like that. Strange, because they haven't heard of devil fruit powers. They think that the power of the Gorgon sisters are curses. They don't know about devil fruits. I guess because they're so isolated from the rest of the world. So Boa's two sisters come down and they're like in a snake type form. They got like a transformation devil fruit, and Luffy's fighting them even though he doesn't really want to. Especially the women who had brought him into the village had presented themselves to Boa as like, it's our fault. We actually think he's a good guy, or at least one of them did, and the other ones were just defending her. But he's not lying. He did say he came here by accident. He just wants to leave. I think he's a good person. And Boa's just like, you brought him here? Turn them to stone. And Luffy is so angry at her, like, you disgust me. Why would you turn your own people to stone? They were just trying to help. They were trying to defend me. They didn't do anything wrong. Like, you disgust me. How dare you? And Boa's just like, oh, woe is me. He said such hurtful things to me because of my hurtful actions. And then the Colosseum's just like, oh, how dare he speak to her that way? She's so beautiful. You can't talk to her like that, which is ridiculous. And Luffy is fighting the Gorgon sisters, and they are using a type of Haki, Haki, that I guess reads his mind, predicts his movement, so he can't land a hit. And another type that when they use it, they can hit him and make him feel pain / do damage, even though he's made of rubber, is my interpretation. So Luffy is so upset, both at Boa and everyone around him, because they're angry at him rather than her. And he's just like, I just want to attack, stop fighting, just stop it. He screams and unleashes his own type of Haki. I want to say Hawkeye and that gotta be wrong. That's Marvel in my head, so I'm going to stick with Haki. And it knocks out many of the people in the stadium, and it's a certain type of Haki that is unique. Like, Boa, I think, has something similar, they said, but they were shocked at the type and power that he unleashed and the fact he's untrained in it, so something there. And during the fight, and after that was unleashed, one of the Gorgon sisters' shirts gets burnt off, exposing her back. So Luffy throws himself on top of her to hide the mark. And Boa just says, okay, the Gorgon's eyes are exposed. The only thing preventing you all from turning stone is Luffy there on her back. So everyone clear the stadium. And as a thank you / final test, Boa gives Luffy an option. So all this time, he's been saying, I need a boat, get me back to my crew, that is my goal, that's all I want, just give me a ship to get off this island. So she offers him either, here is a ship to take, and I will take you back to your friends, or I can turn these complete strangers to you that were defending you, I can bring them back and where they're petrified right now, I'll revive them. Which do you choose? And Luffy, without hesitation, breaks into the biggest grin, smiling and thanking her. Yes, please heal them. Obviously, that's what Luffy's going to choose. And Boa is shocked at how selfless he is, and that, like, he didn't hesitate. So I guess she gains a bit of respect for him there, and promises him, like, I guess a reward. They go back to the temple after she revives the 3 that she had turned to stone, and Luffy is expecting food, but he doesn't get food. We're given Boa's backstory. He gets food later on. He does get more food eventually. We're given Boa's backstory, where she had been a pirate and captured by the nobles and the government and sold into slavery and under the oppression of the celestial dragons. So when Luffy says, like, he's kind of in trouble for punching a celestial dragon in the face, she's very happy to hear that he hates them. But she's also, like, really, really concerned that he's going to judge her for being a slave and all the abuse and horrible stuff that happened to her in her past. Showing her back again, we see that the mark Luffy had confused with the sun that was on Hachi's head. And she explains that this is the mark of, like, slavery in the nobles and celestial dragons, and it's a shame to her. She explains that when she was held captive, there was a tiger fishman who climbed the red red line with his bare hands and attacked the nobles, set a lot of the slaves free. She and her sisters had escaped, whereas other ones went and joined like the Sun Pirates, where they reworked the brand to be more like a sun, and that way you didn't know who was a slave in the past. They all wore the same mark. And we go into why her insecurities, her fears, why she distrusts men, as well as why she doesn't want to go to the Marine Fort. She doesn't want to be that close to the nobles ever again. And Luffy's like, hey, I understand you don't have to keep telling me this. I don't judge you. I don't blame you. This wasn't your fault, kind of thing. Yes, I hate the nobles. I hate them for this. I punched them in the face. And he just wants to get back to his crew. I don't think he's learned that Ace is in trouble really yet. But Boa ends up falling in love with Luffy, I think because of all this, because he's selfless, because he didn't judge her. But also I'm assuming a part of it's going to be because he's like unattainable, like everyone else falls in love with her so easily and he's not even a little bit attracted to her. So I'm assuming some of that's going on. But she's now devoted to kind of helping him. And when Luffy learns that his brother is in real, genuine danger from a newspaper, of course, someone finally read this boy's newspaper. So he learns about Ace, and it's just like, okay, I know my big brother probably doesn't want me to come save him. He's strong, he can take care of himself, but I'm going to go save him. So he needs a ship, but a special ship to take a direct route to him, and he needs Boa to agree to go to the Marine Fort because they need to smuggle him on to a Navy ship to get there. And she agrees because she's now in love with him. I don't know how I feel about her being in love with him. I don't know at all. Anywho, so smuggles him on, and we're shown that her character, despite now being in love, has not really changed. She kicks a puppy, she kicks a baby seal. Previously, she had torn down a statue made by children because it didn't fit her aesthetic. She still points and laughs at people and leans back so hard she's looking at the sky. Like, she's still a horrible, selfish person. And I appreciate the opportunity that gives us to possibly develop that character more going forward. I want to see where this character goes. I don't know if it's someone I'm going to like as a person or just like because, hey, I like the selfish character. They're fun. They don't care about anyone else. They're just fun. And now we know she likes Luffy. So she likes the Straw Hats. I'm okay. She likes the Straw Hats. I'm fine with it. One thing I really want to say is I'm so happy that we got the backstory of what was on her back because we already have the mystery of what's the point of the ponteglyphs, the ancient weapon, the 100-year missing history, the place that had been destroyed, wiped off the face of the earth, Papa guys, Kuma's action, something's going on there, the will of D. We already got all these mysteries building up and working towards that. One more mystery of, hey, what's on Boa's back would have been a little excessive. So I'm very happy we got the answers to that right away. In probably one of my favorite panels so far is going to be Garp talking to Ace. I love a good family dynamic. So he's just saying, I just want you boys to be good military men. We got earlier in the arc about how Luffy had been abandoned in the jungle because Garp thought would make him strong. And Garp had better be planning to save his grandson. That's all I'm saying. If he abandons his grandson, this man is dead to me. But Ace is having none of it. It's like, I don't care about you. There's a little bit of talk about how Garp had told Luffy about Dragon being his father. And Ace is just like, I don't care about Dragon. Whitebeard is my father. They are my family. And it's like, he's not going to betray them. And Garp's just there. I don't know if he was going to try to persuade him to turn on Whitebeard. I doubt it. I doubt it would have even worked. Like, come over to the military Navy side. Like, I don't think that's what he was planning. He was probably just there to see his grandson, get some answers for why his life turned out this way, because there's no saving. There's no saving Ace in this situation. Garp doesn't have that pull, I don't think. maybe. But Garp needs to rescue him. He does. He needs to. We get not the rest of the Straw Hats. So I'm most excited for Nami being on like a Sky Island type place with meteorology studying, and I can see that definitely make her getting a lot of physical strength and skills between being a better navigator as well as maybe the weapon she uses, making it stronger. So I'm excited to see where she goes with that. Brooke got summoned by like devil worshippers, so that's going to be fun. I'm most excited for Zoro being on the same island as the goth girl from Thriller Bark, so I really want to see that dynamic. That sounds like fun. What else? Robin is on like a slave prison workplace, and a little bit earlier we had heard that 500 people were arrested by Kizaru. So I'm assuming we're going to see some familiar faces there. And they're building a bridge. I can see Robin either using thousands of hands to help complete said bridge if she feels it's a good purpose, or just snapping everyone's neck and walking away. She'll take care of herself. It's fine. No one's telling Robin what to do. Yeah, I don't have too much to say. This was a very short arc compared to the other ones. We got some new introductions. We got a new ally for Luffy. I think all the crew members are going to get stronger with their solo adventures, and I'm excited to see more time with them. I'm most excited that Luffy now knows his brother's really in trouble and he's off to save him. I really want some good family dynamics between him, Ace, and Garp. Like, Garp, is he going to leave the Navy and become a pirate? Maybe he'll join Whitebeard's crew with Ace? Or I don't think he's going to join the Straw Hats, because I think I know everyone who's on the Straw Hats crew just because of the TikTok, which reminds me I've been spoiled for something. Okay, on TikTok, I found a preference that allows you to limit what comes to your feed. So, like, I've blocked One Piece spoilers, OP, which has resulted in me getting significant less anime and general content on my TikTok. I'm very upset about that, but it is what it is. But I had known that there's this blue guy who I think is Jim something. I've seen him in some videos as well, music videos mostly, as well as like the bag opening clip. So I think he's going to join the crew, and he matches the silhouette of this arc. Apparently he's another emperor. Did not know that. So don't know who he is really, but apparently he is refusing to come to the Marineford, even if it means giving up his title. Is there anything else I need to say about this arc? No. All right. That's all I got. I will talk to you later. Very excited to continue, but the Goodreads Choice Award books have been announced, and I'm going to be trying to read the top 10 horror books of the year nominations, so that might take a little bit of time as well. So not sure when the next One Piece one will be coming up, but I'm very excited. Talk to you later. Bye.